my turn to talk. Welcome, welcome. And everyone who is following over on any of the other platforms, welcome. Hey, yes, I am. I'm on here now. Hey, you're doing double duty. Yes, I am. Had a busy morning today. Busy morning trying to catch up. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. Oh, oh, no, he doesn't like those, huh? Hey, Frankie. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Brina. Welcome, welcome. This lion costume, crazy lady. That dog is spoiled. Spoiled, spoiled. All right, so I'm gonna get started. There we go. I got a late start today, but I have so many things going on, so many projects. I'm just trying to keep up. And I was out of town the last couple days. But anyway, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. And today, yeah, I'm going back to that death thing again. Um, I was reading Richard III when I was on the plane on my flight early Thursday morning. And there's a part in there that I really like when he talks about, you know, feeling and wanting, tasting, grief and needing friends. Hello, Blunt Ninja, welcome. You know, and can a person die without applause? And basically, the way I've always taken it, hey Shelby, the way I've always taken it when I've always um, read that was, can a person die without having to feel validated, without having to feel like um, you made a difference and people noticed? Like there are some people who have a need to be validated. You have those people who have a need to look at me, see what I'm doing. And, you know, not to get political or anything, but I think politicians have a need for that. I think um, actors have a need for that. I think that anyone who's in the limelight has a need for you can even say maybe podcasters have a need for it. But can a person die without applause? Many people do. I mean, how many people die that, they die alone in their homes, or, possibly if you're homeless or something, and you have that place under the freeway, um, that was always yours. And one day you just slip off into that dark night, as Dylan Thomas said, you know, um, and no one knows. So that's my question. Can a person die without applause? Um, Reading crazies talking about Jake being a party pooper. Um, so Minnesota, welcome, welcome. Let's see, you guys are saying hello to each other. Okay, so um, can a person? We let me put it like this: can a person live without applause? Would you be able to live your entire life, no matter how long or short your life is, without someone validating you in some way? Would you be able to be that person who is, when they say people live off the grid? Would you be able to do that where no one is validating you in any way? You're just on your own, living by yourself, and not really caring what people think. And when you die, can you die without people saying good job, or giving standing up in front of everybody saying, oh, this person was this and this, and they did this and this? Hello, GP and Hamida, welcome. Can you can you do that? And Brina says, yeah, I think so. Not everyone needs their exit to be a production. I love the way you said that. Everyone does not. that's a that's a title for a podcast. Everything does not need their exit to be a production. Brina, you're always giving me things that, seriously, I'm still thinking about and laughing about some of the things you say, but you always give me things that I think about later. Personally, I could definitely live off the grid. I could live off the grid too. Um, My audio sound is amazing. Thank you. I finally got it together. I finally got my toys together and and went on YouTube and figured a couple things out, and I just had the wires in the wrong place. So thank you. Let's see. Well, Brady, you do. I could never live in the woods, but I could definitely live without technology. Okay. My dad's buddy died up on his mountain. Okay. Shelby, welcome, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine.
Um,
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just reading what Crazy Lady just said. He was found in the spring.
mm,
Wow. Okay, Shelby, welcome, welcome.
um, well, we all know that Shelby doesn't have to have applause. So I certainly think that people can um, exit this life. Oh my God.
That's that's for you, Shelby.
Yeah, Lord.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that as far as like, because to me that's like putting them on the spot, or saying that they always have to have the limelight, and I'm not like that. I'm perfectly fine being in the corner, you know um saying, y'all look, take Jenny for example. She was the one who done all the work. I'm just here for support. But I could live off the grid. Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
So Brina says that she couldn't live in the woods.
I could live in the
Um,
woods.
where would you, if you were to live off the grid, where would be your perfect place?
In the woods.
In the
Yes, where
woods.
nobody can find me.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go to Brina. When you say live off the grid, are you saying you still want to live in your house, but you just won't have technology and you won't have credit cards and debit cards and all that stuff where people
Uh,
can track you and swipe you and what have you?
well, I could live in a cabin, yeah.
No, no, I was asking because Brina said
Oh,
that she
asking
couldn't live.
Brina.
Yeah,
Oh,
she said
okay.
she couldn't live in the woods, but she can live without technology. So I just want to know when she says live off the grid, is she just saying putting your electronics away, but you're still living in your house and you're still having utilities and everything like that? Because to me, living off the grid means that you are taking yourself away from, you're not where Edison can't find you and AT&T and Verizon, nobody can send you a bill or anything like that. Like you are seriously off the grid. And Brina says wildlife scares me. What, you're afraid of a couple of bears and coyotes? And Crazy Lady says, we're gonna have a memorial funeral, really for my brother, someplace warm where the beer flows like wine. Okay, I like that,
GP.
GP. See, that's another y'all giving me these podcast topics. I want to live on my own little, Lou, I want to live on my own little island too. Just, just honestly, just me and my
All
dogs,
alone.
just by myself, just leave me alone. Yeah. And then Brina says, yes, I'm a city girl, but I can live without internet and phone. But Brina, is that really living off the grid though? I mean, come on. I mean, I mean, Shelby, what do you think? Is living off? I mean, living off the grid to me means where you are literally taking yourself where no one knows who you are.
Yeah, you don't have electricity. You don't have um um like I mean, I guess you would have normal like inside bathroom, but I mean, you wouldn't have electricity. You wouldn't have internet, of course, or phone, or you know things like that. But you would definitely be in the woods, and nobody can find you. I mean, you would use solar, for
I'm
your
sorry, I'm laughing. I'm
electricity.
listening to what you're saying, Shelby, but I'm laughing what Brina just said. She says, "Oh, I couldn't do that then."
Well, Brina, that's what it entails.
Note to everyone: do not take Brina camping with you. Oh boy, that's
Well, I
funny.
mean, you would, crazy lady, when you go to have water, you could get it certain in different ways. You can uh fix like um I don't
You
know
can
what they
have
call
a
them.
latrine.
Yeah, you can fix a latrine. You can have a well. I mean, you can have all kinds of different ways to get water up to your home, or whatever. I mean, if you live in a tent, you can, whatever you live on in. I mean,
I'm still laughing at Brina. That's just gonna that's just gonna tickle me for a while. Official welcome to Rottweiler Crucible.
hey, crazy.
Oh, and Damien, welcome. Oh Lord, Lord, Lord. So Brina, I have to ask, crazy, did I not catch you? Uh so there we go. Okay, so Brina, would you be able to go camping like for a weekend? Can you like go in a tent and camp? I'm sorry, I'm just still laughing at what Rena said. It was just funny to me. I'm too spoiled for that. Oh Lord, maybe camping. It
So we
depends.
know Brina draws a line at the toilet. There's not a flushing toilet. I'm out of here. Sorry.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
I
So
got to
Brina,
go.
I know. So Brina, what do you do when the lights go out? I mean, if there's no power, are you like freaking out for the first half hour, 45 minutes, and you learn? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's probably not as funny as
Yeah, it is. It's really funny.
Really, to me, it is. I'm sorry, Brina. I'm sorry. Crazy lady. Whoa, whoa. And she says, I'm not shitting in no hole. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, so then since you're a city girl, you'll just do it on the sidewalk? Oh, no, I'm okay with an outage. There's concrete around. So, oh, Lord have mercy. All right, crazy lady. Welcome again. I'm sorry. I just can't stop laughing. Go ahead.
I can't either because I'm just going.
San Francisco
Yeah, I've
style.
been there. I've been there.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, when my dad retired, he moved us off grid, and the beginning of it like totally sucked, because of course you have nothing. You're out there in the middle of nowhere with nothing. But like after you get everything set up, then I mean, at the end of it, it was okay, But you do have to, think about what you do a lot.
Okay, so having said that, and going back to your previous comment about what you said about your dad's friend,
Oh yeah, his
and
buddy.
yeah, and he died up on a mountain all by himself.
Yep, up in his
Um,
cabin.
so I come back and I say, can do you think that he do you think he was okay? I'm trying to
Yeah, they said
well, I'm
they
trying
they
to,
said he died of a heart attack.
but
Dad said, because he didn't come down at the spring thaw. So Dad was like, he should have been down by now. So Dad, trekked up there and yep, found him in the cabin. You know,
so
but but he was
so
happy up till then, I would imagine. You
okay,
know.
so that's my question. Do you think that he was happy
Oh yeah.
dying without applause, even though he was by himself?
Yep. Totally happy.
Because I even think that when you hear that people so and so died surrounded by their family and friends, that's to me that's applause when you die. So is it possible, like, so your dad's buddy, was he okay just to pass away without having people around? The only downside is like you said, people just don't find you until later.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, yeah, because he was just that way. He just was Dad's buddy, and he just lived up on the mountain by himself, built his own cabin and stuff. I don't. He didn't even have electricity. Like Dad offered, to put up like wind power or solar power, and he's like, no, no, I'm good this way. Um, and he just lived real simple, happy as a lark.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into my next couple questions where when I say feel, want, taste, grief, need friends. Um, do you, again, going back, to this Richard III speech, do you have to, are you the type of person who has a need to be around people to feel them, to want them, to, share grief with people, where you, or you need friends? And it comes to, again, not just can a person die without the applause, but can you live without it?
No, humans, we're pack animals. We really like other humans. Um, I mean, we can exist without. I mean, there are those hermits out there, but yeah, either you'll invent them in your head or have them in reality. Um, we do need other people to share emotions, conversate with.
But is that really necessary if you do have people who purposely take themselves off the grid? Do you have people who truly do not need that they don't need to get up every morning, having someone say hi to them or good morning, or you know you don't have that neighbor that you wave to? I mean,
Oh
is
yeah,
it
people can live like that all the time.
so?
You
Are
know,
we really pack animals, or do we just have a need to feel validated, or a need to have attention? And that's what I was saying about politicians, and entertainers. Do they have a need for that applause? They have a need for that attention.
I don't know. Probably.
Okay.
I never really thought about it before.
Okay.
I just thought maybe they were just really good at their job.
Okay. And Brina says, I think every human needs interaction in some way, some just more than others. And then Crazy says, no. So how many of you, I mean, honestly, how many of you could honestly live in a cabin? Yes, Brina, it does have running water and it does have a flushing toilet. And you all are you're just up there just by yourself with no one around. I mean, everything, let's say you have food stocked for a whole year, so you don't have to go hunting or anything like that. You have everything's there. You just don't have technology. You don't have that phone. You don't have a television set. Or maybe you do have a television set. Maybe you have a radio, whatever, but you can't call anyone. No one can call you. Can you live a year without having any contact with anyone except maybe the squirrel that runs past your cabin every day, or maybe you took your dog with you or something, but you don't have someone actually talking to you in a human voice. Crazy says, I can, and Crazy, I am with you. So could I.
Yep, I done that.
Okay.
I can.
Okay. See, and then Bro says, not most seek validation as well as attention. And Crazy says, I love it. Uh, and Damien says, with the booze, I think you mean might work. Welcome, Shy Lady and Revolutionary Bro. Official welcome to you. I would love to live without a phone. Only leave the cabin for food supplies. Well, no. Well, okay. So you're saying sex, GP. Where are you gonna get that sex from? Because there's no. You can't have to be up there all by yourself. So you can have it if you take something with you, but you can't have it in the you know. Um, Tracy says, I figure out how to get a hold of my son if I have to. Done it 18 months straight. Okay. So, you know, Shy Lady, welcome.
Hey everybody. Good question. Me personally, I couldn't live without human interaction, even if it wasn't nobody biologically related to me. I still couldn't live without human. I mean, I do have kids. I couldn't live a whole year without talking to one of my kids. And I think if you're going to pose a question, take out your pets, even though they may be not human, they're still like family to you. So take away the pets. Can you still live without any interaction with a living creature? So that's with a whole year. So that's the question I think a lot of people can look at, because is you have to be a very, very strong person to not have any interaction with no one. I'm talking human beings, a pet. You'd have to be a very strong person. I don't know anyone in my life that can do that. It's just
Okay. I mean, you bring up some very good points, and Bro says isolation will psychologically destroy the average citizen. Crazy says no. She's also agreeing with you. So, I guess that's why people, if they're in prison and they go to solitary confinement, they end up going crazy, or they find some way to keep their mind occupied by talking to themselves, writing, talking to that, mouse that comes in, or that whatever, you know, um, looking at it like that. Yes, it would be extremely hard. But do I think I would be able to go live in a cabin and up there by myself with no human interaction? Yeah, I do. If I didn't have my dogs, would I still be able to make it? Yeah, I do believe that I would be able to, because again, you're out there, you look at birds and whatever, you can find something to talk to. So hold on, Damien. I lost you there. Hold on. There you go. Oh, okay. Damien. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, so Shy Lady, do you think that that's possible?
it's probably possible people could do that, but I would think a person like that is probably um, in the very, very minority, probably less than 1% of the population. I mean, it's easy to say, but get out there every day and really try it for 365 days without a without your daughter or your son or your favorite pet, cat, dog, hamster. I don't
No,
think it's
no, no, no.
possible.
I said you are out there with you're out there with you're out there with a living creature, but just not human interaction. That's what I just said. If you did not have human interaction,
If I didn't have, could I do it for a year? If I didn't have human interaction,
uh-huh.
you're talking about not able to call
I'm
anyone.
saying no human interaction, none. None.
Okay,
So you're not calling anyone. You may have a dog, you may have a cat, whatever. You have no human interaction. You cannot pick up the phone and call your husband, your son, your daughter, your wife, whomever.
no, absolutely not.
Okay. 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 Shelby, you want to weigh in?
Well, Solid, you know me. Human interaction is not a big thing for me. Um, it's like, I mean, I could go without human interaction for days, you know? I mean, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't like people. I like people. I could talk to people, or I don't have to talk to people. And so I could do it. You know, I don't have to necessarily have to have a a buddy with me. Or now my dog, yes, I'd have to have my dog with me. Um, but as far as a person, I wouldn't have to have a person.
Okay. All right. Now, Bro says if you had to, you probably could, but I don't see anyone, excuse me, opting for that condition other than monks. Crazy says I wouldn't be able not to have contact with my son. I have to have a way to like drive and check in once in a while. Charlotte says if I could not go without knowing my kids are okay. Crazy says although it's only a year, I could, but I wouldn't want to because of my son. Okay, now I'm gonna use this word that Crazy says, and I just love it. The
A
variables and
variable.
the variables, and y'all are throwing in some variables here. So y'all are throwing in your variables of your children. Take those variables out. Take the variables out with your children. Okay. Would you be able to do it if someone says, "Okay, Crazy shy lady, for $10 million cash, if you can go 1 year without talking to anyone, you can listen to the radio, you can listen to music, you can only, and I'm going to throw in this variable, you can only have one TV station, not of your choice. It could be just
Can I
a
have
foreign
books?
language station,
Can I have books?
whatever.
Can I have books?
Yeah, you can have
Okay, then if
books.
I don't need I
No, but
don't need
you
the
have
TV.
no human interaction.
I can do
Could
it.
you do it? And I said,
Fuck
am
yeah.
I getting paid? And she said, you're using that long she, you're using the long S. I love it. I could go a year without anyone. Just Brina, you're gonna be in the woods on this one, dear.
Yeah, you'd have
Okay.
to blast me out of there. Shoot.
Okay, so it's interesting how now everybody changes when there's money. Now it's like there's money involved and you can do it. But when there's
I'd
not
do it for
money,
free.
I guess you guys would say, well, what's the incentive? But what if you had to? Welcome, DA. What if you had to do it? What if you had no choice, but you had to do it? What if you were running for your life and you had to live off the grid where you had no contact with anyone? Because if you contacted anyone, it could be a matter of life or death. So, DA says Bible says money answers all things. So, bro, did I catch you or hold on? Let me try you again. I don't know if I caught you. So yeah, I'm throwing in these variables here. Hey, bro, welcome back.
What's good?
Nothing.
Let me say this, Salad Blue. Check this out. There are no variables when it comes to
Oh,
solitary confinement. Either you're confined solitarily or you're not. So, which one is it? Are we being isolated, or if we have options, doesn't it take away isolation at all? There shouldn't be any variables. We don't get to pick and choose what the variables are. Either you could do it or you can't.
okay, and bro, you make a very welcome power girl. Bro, you make a very good point. But you notice that as soon as I threw in the money, which I knew people were going to change their mind when you throw in the money, all of a sudden, then oh well, yeah, maybe I could. Well, yeah, but you take a but you know you don't have the money, then everybody's like, oh no, I don't think I can do it. So
Well, all money ain't good money. Some money you'll regret taking, because if I have to go at least 3 4 weeks to a month without any girlfriend or wife type contact, I'll probably go crazy. So now I don't even know if I could do certain things for money, because I might end up having a baby with a fox body and a human head. I don't know.
oh boy, I'm just saying that when you throw in the money and see now Shiley is agreeing with bro, so it's like again you throw in that money aspect, then the variables do come in. So and Crazy Lady says that she lived up on a mountain for 8 months by herself. Um, let's see, even and Da says even with no money, something becomes valuable, and that becomes your currency. That's just a timeout. Okay, and then Charlie says, how about solitary confinement in a cell for a year? Let's see who's bad enough to sustain that. Solitary confinement in a cell? No, I'm gonna tell you, I am not bad enough to do it. No, but you put me someplace where I can walk out. I can walk out of a cabin and I can walk around. Yeah, I can do it. But being cooped up, in solitary confinement, just because and there's a lock on the door. No, no, so and then you say money. Could I do it for money? I could try, and I'm being totally honest. I could possibly try to do it for money. Would I last? I don't think that I would. So, Shy Lady, taking your question, how many people would be able to have solitary confinement, no, no contact with any other people in that cell or in that facility for a whole year? Who would be able to do it if, let's say, it was $10 million? How many people think that they would realistically be able to do it? I may be able to last maybe 2 months, maybe.
Could
So,
could the
Shy
human
Lady,
could the human brain, even, because I don't think they leave the craziest inmate in solitary confinement for a year. They might get there like maybe a couple 3 weeks to 2 months or something like that, or they might keep going back and forth depending on how often they're getting in trouble. But I
But there's
don't
still a
think the
guard there giving you their food, so it
yeah,
isn't like they're
but I
like
don't think the
by
most
themselves,
terrible
you know.
terrible inmate staying there for a year. Now that's kind of crazy to ask
yeah,
somebody
but
to
yeah,
change.
but you also have to remember, bro. In some countries, they do leave people and they forget about them
In our
too.
country,
So yeah.
I, Shaolin monks might get, they could do that, but I don't think regular people would be good at that. I think that's only people who choose that type of lifestyle.
Okay, now see, now you're making a good point now because you're saying people who choose that lifestyle. So I don't think a monk is any different from someone else. They just chose that lifestyle. So if you choose to do that, then I think you would be able to do it for those people who do live off the grid, who they just decide to, I'm not going to live with society anymore, and they live by themselves. So it is possible. But
I mean,
again, the
anything is.
variable, but there is a variable, bro, because again, when you throw in money, all of a sudden, like I said, people started to change what they were saying.
If you throw in money, it don't mean that they could do it. It just means that they are willing to try. It's a difference between a trier and somebody who can succeed at that.
Okay, but you have people who are not getting paid, who do succeed at it, who are living by themselves every single day for years and years. They're just by themselves.
In a mountain, or do they just live in a home in a big city by themselves where they get contact with other people every
Okay, but
day?
but bro, you're also forgetting the fact that you have people who live in the city who never come out of their homes. They never come out of their homes at all. They don't have to contact with anyone. You have people who you know if their newspapers delivered, or if food is delivered to them or something, they don't even open up the door until that person walks away. You have people who are like that. You have people
Isn't
who
that a
die
middle?
every day. But I'm just saying that
Isn't
you have
that a
no go.
isn't that a mental illness? They used to have talk shows about that. The people who would isolate themselves in their homes,
But
and
is
they
it
used to have.
necessarily a mental illness, or is it a choice? See, now you're saying that people cannot choose to be by themselves, because if I had a choice, whatever, I mean, there's sometimes when I'm like, you know what, just leave me alone. I just want to go live off. I think GP said it, just live on an island all by myself, and I would be able to do it. Does that mean that I have a mental illness because I choose to live by myself, because I
No,
choose
the
not to have
mental. No,
interaction?
no, the mental illness won't be just the choosing to live by yourself. A lot of women grow old and gray and don't have a partner. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a phobia or fear with social contact or anything, like, that's a mental illness.
But I'm not saying necessarily a phobia or fear, or fear. I'm saying that people live, um, living, and that people can choose not to have interaction, even if they're in the middle of a large city. And DA says people living off the grid is different from living in a cell. Yes, I believe that, absolutely. And DA, thank you very much for the gifts. Bro, I'm gonna move over to Da, because I know he has something that he wants to quote.
Well, no, I was just. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
yes,
was just, I
yes.
was just gonna point out. I mean, if you look at the movie Castaway, right? Which,
Hmm.
of course, we understand that's Hollywood, but people they tend to try and find some type of common way to communicate, whether it be with what he did with that little tether ball, something to argue and talk to, or whatnot, being by themselves. I do believe that people who do live off the grid, it's been documented of people living off the grid all by themselves and living off of nature and hunting and eating vegetables in their gardens and really not having human contact. I think what it is we've been brainwashed into this social media frenzy that we don't think that any type of contact with anyone is it's hard to do. We know my son's situation, and I've talked to my son about those times being put in solitary confinement, naked in a cell where it's really cold. And I've asked him about that, and I was like, how is it? What do you do to survive? And I said, I don't think I can survive. He said, Dad, if you're part of me, you could have survived. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, you'll start. You'll make up a friend in there. You'll start answering yourself. You'll look at the wall. You'll start doing things there. If there's and literally he said if roaches come in, they become your friends. If mice come in, they become your friends. You start talking to them. You start to be a social creature. So what people don't understand is, can people live off the grid? Yes, but I think it's totally different from being inside of a dark room where the only time you get light is when they come and throw your tray inside and say, eat this. It's totally different. But I think a lot of people who have chosen to live off the grid is they've done it because they're doing it for their own self, their own their own self therapy, just want to get away from people, people have done that, and I think people have lived great and healthy lives off the grid. So I think, and like you said, money. Yeah, people say, yeah, I'll do it for this much money, but if you do it for that much money, that means if you were put in that situation, you will make it happen anyway.
And that's my point. And thank you for saying the way you said. And yes, I do know or I think, because I don't know, I've never been in a cell, but I do definitely believe that being in a cell in solitary confinement is completely different from living off the grid. But but you just made a good point. If you can do it for money, you can do it without money. So I think that the excuse that people have, yes, you do want to talk, and I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to be negative to Shy Lady or too crazy, but um, if you want to say, oh, I have to see my kids, whatever. But do you feel the same way if the $10 million was there, if the $1 million was there? It's like it's like, oh, all of a sudden people can do things when money pops up. So if you can do it for money, then you should be able to do it without money. Or if it's a matter of life and death and you had to do it, you would be able to do it. And I mean, that's just what I think. But I'm going to circle back to my other question is, you're living off the grid, you're living you're in a cell, you're at home, not seeing anyone. Can you, again, I say, would you be able to die without the applause? Can you die without that validation? Would you be able to live like that and just pass away and no one knows that you're gone? Would that bother you? Would you be able to deal with that? So I go to whomever wants to answer that on the panel. Would you all, in that situation, would you be, I'm not going to say would you be okay with it, but is it something that would bother you? Like, that you're about to take your last breath, but your family is not around.
Well,
Didn't Ellen DeGeneres' husband, Ellen DeGeneres' DJ, just do that? He rented a hotel room, allegedly committed suicide so nobody could see him. That just happened in December of last year.
Okay. See?
Mm, I'd be
It
okay
is.
dying alone.
Okay.
I would I would be okay, but to me, just like Bro said, it's not even about you, people that you're leaving behind. How will that fit with them? That's to me. I'm
But I'm not,
gone,
okay.
but it's the people that you
No, no,
leave
no.
behind.
I understand that, but right now I'm not chill. Hold on. Okay, good. Um, I'm I'm um I'm not talking about uh Charlie, you really have a lot of background noise there.
Oh, I'm in the
Um,
gym. I'm in the gym. I'm about to
okay,
leave.
okay. I'm not talking about how they would feel. I'm not talking about them at all. I'm talking about you. Would you be able to just pass away with in a house by yourself? And again, the only thing different would be that they won't find you until whenever. But would you be able to pass away without that validation?
I would be okay. I would be okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Jill, welcome. You there, Jill?
Yeah, I was trying to get my headphones straight. Give me one.
Okay. And crazy, I did send a thing to you. Okay. So crazy says no. Okay. Okay. So okay, chill is who just popped off. I just lost somebody. Who just? Okay. Okay, crazy lady. Okay, so while we're waiting for Chill, DA, do you want to comment?
Yeah, I would love to comment, but I had a client just come in, so I actually got to get off. But I'll just
Okay.
say, great conversation. I like that. Living off the grid. I think now I will say this. I think we all need to be prepared to live off of the grid. We don't know when this world is going to just say they're going to flip the switch and all communications, all the stuff go down. I think so. I think we need to prepare for the worst and hope for the best in every situation that we do, and really just pick up on your survival skills. You know what I mean? Pick up on some of those skills. Go out, go out there and camp. You know what they call it, rough it every now and then, and check out your skills. See if you could fish. You know, with just a line and a hook, or whatever. Just check out your skills, because maybe one day those skills might actually be put to the test. I mean, we see these movies, a plane might go down and you might be a survivor. You might be the only one on an island for a long time out at sea. So check out your skills, put it to the test. And thank you for having me up, Solid. And I'll
No,
be
no
talking with you
problem,
later.
DA. Okay. You hear that, Brina Brina? Test out those survival skills. Hey, Chill, you ready?
Listen here, me trying to test my survival skills. I might not survive here, Black Cabinet, because that just not happening. I know if I go somewhere to the forest, yeah, I'm SOL. Sorry,
I
this
have
goes a
been.
wrap.
I'm just saying, and Shy Lady says it's a good point that DA made, because I'm telling y'all gotta be prepared. Y'all gotta be able to have food in your house, and but anyway, Chill. You
I
want
know
to
how to go to
comment?
a cabin and bring my iPhone.
Do you want to comment on what I said in terms of would you be able to
Solid,
die
I ain't seen you in
without
a
your
whole
lungs?
long time, and don't be rushing me, Solid, because I
I'm
ain't seen
trying
you in
to
I don't
move
know.
my show along. Okay, I'm trying to move my show along.
But no, I get it. I'm giving you a hard time.
I
I
know.
know. In general, roughing it is fine, but I just feel like, and, have you ever? I'm not going to say that, but I get the whole thing. But who knows how to even do that nowadays? Like, who has prepared? How can you be prepared for something like that?
I am.
You know, and now you feel like you can go out in the wilderness for like they do when they drop those contestants off
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
able to live.
Yeah. I mean, I
You can go
again,
on the show and win.
I grew up in a family where we went camping and what have you. I grew up with a father who said always be prepared that if your car breaks down, how to do this and
Hmm.
that. So yeah, I would. I am prepared. I have things in my house where if I was locked up in my house for days and days and days, that I have food to eat. I don't have to worry
Hmm.
about going to the store or whatever. Yeah,
I
I
don't think
can.
it was like in that wilderness though, like hunting and like when it's raining, getting the fire going and
Yeah. Yes.
pitching a
Yes.
tent and
Yes. I
okay,
know how
cool,
to
cool,
pitch
cool, cool.
a tent. Can I go and kill a bear? No. But if I had to kill something to eat, well then I would.
Mm,
I mean, I'm not
that's
going to starve.
interesting.
And
Well,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you would too. I'm pretty sure if you had to chill, you would do whatever you needed
I mean,
to
no. I
to
mean,
survive.
I get it, but if I gotta, you gotta know how to kill a, even a rabbit. You gotta catch. Like, who knows how to do that? Who hunts for deers and who does that nowadays? To be well at it, good enough to where
I
you'll
didn't
not
say I
starve.
was going to be well at it, but if I had to chop something up and skin something or I
Mm.
figure it out really fast. I figure it out really fast because I'm not going to starve.
Yeah, I think that to speak to the part that where you said dying alone, I think everybody died alone for the most part. When you going through whatever you're going through, I don't care how many people in the room. If you losing your breath, if you losing life, you going through that by yourself.
So
They looking at you.
you don't think that there's a difference with people say, and your friends and his friends and family were around. You don't think that there's a difference as opposed to having people around you, as opposed to just dying by yourself?
Not that if there's a hardship involved. If it's just like if you just maybe if some calm in your death. If you like, you're just gonna fall asleep and pass, maybe. But if you got a gunshot wound and you got all your family, you are you hurting for some reason? I don't think it makes a difference. You're still going through that pain. And you ain't
Okay.
really think about them. You think
Okay.
about
Can
like getting
you
rid of that. I want to get this over with or get through it or however. You know what I'm saying?
go through your life without ever being validated?
Oh, listen, I'm a military man. I was in the Navy and intelligence. That's the job. You can say the world, and not even people not even know. So that's a for me. That's a thing. And I don't think it's rooted in the goodness to need validation from people. It's not a bad thing, but it ain't. I don't think it's rooted in like a goodness though. Like because to need that's, huh? I don't know. Mm, that's a good question though. But I don't know. I don't need it for sure. Like I don't think anybody should have to have it. It's nice if you have it, but you shouldn't need it. And I was just talking about this the other day. Like I opened the doors for somebody, and me and my brothers arguing. I want them to say thank you. No, you don't need them to say thank you because you're being yourself. That maybe they appreciate it one day, but either way, you still don't let that person affect you being you because now that negative energy is just coming on to you, and now you don't want to open doors for people because you think I don't know women nowadays don't say thank you for that. But then one may appreciate it. So
I
either way,
say
just be
thank you.
yourself.
I always say thank you.
Yeah, so and that was the conversation. But overall, I was saying still be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't need validation for nobody. You need to be
But
your,
don't you think that you do have people who, if they die, that I mean, some people, and see, this always kind of
for
made me
sure.
kind of laugh because you have people who are like, when I die, I want my funeral to be this, and I want the horses, and I want trumpets, and I want this, and this. And I'm like, well, you're gone. So how do you know that that's happening? Even if they give it to
Um,
you, how do you know that millions of people are standing along the curb waving and crying and what have you? I mean, you're dead. How do you know that they just didn't drive you off to Potter's Field and bury you there?
I'm glad you said that because it makes me kind of really develop my thoughts on the validation part. Um, and I think that's another sickening thing. I think people, I I really hate when people like, well, what about your legacy? Like, what do you mean? 1,000, 2,000 years, nobody gonna care about that anyway. Is it gonna be even told? The story gonna be told right, if at all? Like you just like I don't know. Like who you trying to press? What type of legacy you trying to leave? If it ain't for like maybe the well being of your family, that's kind of egotistical for me when I hear stuff like that, especially in a man. Like he worried about what other people think, and he got to build a legacy for that doesn't. I don't like that part. I understand about building something for your family and but the legacy part I never got along because I think it's just based in ego. That's what I mean by rooted in
But
badness. It's,
but your
it's,
okay,
it's
but your
egotistical. It's
legacy,
super.
but even if it's for your family, isn't that still your legacy? If you wanted to make sure that your family is set when you pass away and they're going to be able to have something, isn't that
In
still
reference
your
to like,
legacy?
I need to. Well, people do a lot to make sure that it is untarnished, right? Or like horrible people have done a lot of bad things in name of legacy, right? You know what I'm saying? So it could be a good or bad thing. Number one, number two, I just don't think a real man doesn't care about that. Like he care about his family, but I mean it could be beneficial to that family name, but sometimes that's a backfire too. Like the Stokes family here in Cleveland, they're prevalent. And I swear to goodness, the judge that went under Louis Stokes, that hurt the daughter of this woman was the most horrible judge in the world. She sat there just because of her name for 30 years till they pushed her out. So it could be a not a good thing and a bad thing. Either way, I just feel like it's if you're doing it for other people to see and the hero to be heralded by other people, it's probably not no. It's just not rooted in nothing awesome. It's just like an insecurity. You trying to like, oh, I'm good. See me, like businesses how they even businesses like, hey, NBA cares or they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it to show you how good they are. And typically they're not good. They just trying to save face about how horrible they are actually. You know, and I don't. And I'd be skeptical of people like that.
Okay. Shelby, Shelby, you still on? Okay. Shy lady, I can't tell if you're on or not.
I'm here.
Okay, so do you want to comment on what Chill just said?
A lot of what he said makes a lot of sense, and About I think maybe 2 weeks ago, my husband and I had a conversation about um, your funeral. One of his relatives passed away about a month ago, and he was a distant cousin. And my husband, I mean, he wanted to go to the funeral, but I was thinking to myself, like, I didn't say it to him, but I was thinking to myself, why are you bothering when you don't even have his phone number in your cell phone? Seriously,
I don't mean to
he
laugh, but yeah.
he didn't, and he was a distant cousin. One of the cousins that was more related to him, which was his uncle, is more of my husband's friend, and I felt like what a waste of money and time. You going all the way to the Chicago, whatever, for someone who I don't even think have seen you in 25 years. And then he said to me, do you think a lot of people come to your funeral? I was like, you know what? I really don't give a damn. I'll be gone. So what difference will it make? But it was just a conversation because we're talking about this. It just kind of reminded me of the conversation that we had because it was kind of like he was saying, well, I would want a lot of people to come to me, come to my funeral, whatever, like a validation kind of thing. And I was like, I really don't give a damn.
But you have
Whatever.
people, but you do. Welcome, D. But you do have people who compare how many people are at a funeral. You do have people who say, well, they only had 100 people at their funeral. Well, they only had two. I'm like, well, if those two people truly cared about you, and those other people were just, I mean, because when you think about it, when people in the news die and then they have the funeral and you have all these people who show up, are they really showing up for support? Are they looky loos? I mean,
Or right, you
like
right,
you said,
solid.
I mean,
Or is it just a
so is this applause? Is this the applause that these people don't necessarily even want? I mean, because they're dead, but we're giving them the applause just because. I mean, so you can say, yeah, I was at so and so's funeral. It's like, well, okay, did his parents know you were there? Did you? I mean, it's like, you went and then you go on about your day for just the next day. Everything's you know the same for you. So again, that applause, is it important? So Chill, I know you want to say something, but let me go to Bro. Bro, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Solid Blue, I was just typing in the fact that some people, because I agree 100% with Shy Lady, some people are just making sure when they go to the funeral that the wake wasn't fake. They want to make sure you're dead. You don't know why people at your funeral. Some people might be there to shoot it up like they do in Chicago. You never know why people are there. So it don't matter if one or two people come to my funeral. As a matter of fact, I might even get the heat treatment and just going out in a blaze of glory and not even have a funeral. I don't worry about stuff like that. Stuff like that don't matter to me.
Okay, so you're somebody who can die without applause.
I don't need it at all. Think about this. The greatest men and women in American history were not deemed great in their lifetime.
fact.
They were only validated once they were no longer
True.
here. The same
True.
people that say to you today, what would Martin Luther King do, were the same people who killed him. So make no, even Jesus said, a prophet amongst his own has no honor.
You're right. You're right. You're right. So you make some very good points. Y'all have been making some good points today. Shelby, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, so did you? I did come back to you before, but you didn't. You weren't there.
Oh,
So
I'm
Shelby, you
sorry.
wanna you wanna say anything? You wanna add anything to the convo?
I just think, like I said, I'm one that I don't need validation. I don't need somebody to tell me, job well done, because I know, I do 100% to the best of my ability on anything that I do. So therefore, regardless of, now I'm not saying that if I was in jail, and I was in solitary confinement, that's different, but if it was just, a regular everyday thing, you know, I don't have to have human interaction every day.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Chill Will?
Yeah, yeah. So that's once again, like, for those type of things, people who need that. That's all. I'm always skeptical of those people. I think those are the people who kind of run the world as well. The one percenters, people who need power, need the validation, people who work for that. But the most effective people, like in my life, the most smartest people, they may not be the richest. The most wisest people, they might not be the richest, but they're impactful, and their footprint is just as impactful, and they won't. No one will broadcast that. You can't you can't quantify it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do such, except when you meet people that have known him or her. They be like, "Damn, that was a solid person. I learned so much from them." That's what it is, and they ain't asking for it. They was it. They was that. They walked in that space, that light, and they omitted it. And they wasn't looking for nothing. They didn't need nothing. You know what I'm saying? So some of them may get a big funeral, maybe not. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's just not. It's not in the vein of, I. So somebody in a kind of like like the say a mason or like a motorcycle type thing. You get all these people coming out and making a spectacle of it because one chapter needs to be show up and da da da. Da. That ain't. That's just a different type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not really real love. That's just show. And people don't even like it. It's just big because it's the dynamic of how your life was. But do these people really care about you? Just the same guy that's there crying about playing crime was the guy who used to hit on your wife. I'm looking like these guys don't even like this person in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm at some of these funerals like that. Like for my, I got a couple relatives that went through a funeral, and then it was like, there was a part of those type of dynamics. They didn't know half these people. So yeah, I don't know. It's just I wouldn't operate like that. I wouldn't even care. I would just be worried about my family more so, but not, me, needing validation for anything.
Okay. And Crazy says, I prefer not to have human interaction every day. I need me time a lot. And Shy Lady made a comment. Let me go up some. You said that happened to a real person. His name is Luis Felipe, aka King Blood. He was put in solitary confinement for life by a judge for putting hits on his enemies by communicating through letters. I didn't read that comment. That's the comment I want to read. Filthy Breakfast says, I need some crazy time to live peacefully. And official welcome to DMAC and Filthy Breakfast. So, guys, that's all I have. I thought it was a really interesting conversation. Everybody had something they wanted to say. So, I'm going to start with Chill. Do you have any last words you want to leave?
No, I know I didn't be here in a little bit. Have a great day. Nice to see all y'all smiling faces and wonderful voices in the room.
Oh boy,
And yeah,
you too,
I see
Chill.
you smiling. I see you smiling, Silent. Don't be smiling. All right, y'all.
Oh boy. All right. Thank you, Chill. Bro, you have any last words you want to leave us?
Yeah, I would like to get a hold of some muskrat and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in
That's so
case
gross. That's
I'm
so
just
gross.
yeah, I'm saying in case I'm ever living on the grid. I gotta learn how to taste stuff that might not be wholesome and nutritious as far as value. But
Well,
no, I think we need to prepare for stuff like that. We never know what's going to happen from day to day. A war can start, a civil war can start. I mean, there's just a lot of things that might just put us on the grid. So all I'm saying is everybody on the Solid Blue Show, be safe and be careful.
Okay, well, thank you. Shy Lady, any last words?
Good conversation. It was a really, really good show, and I think it's like Bro said, it's something to think about for sure. Be ready
Okay,
just in case. Yep.
just in case, because remember, everybody thinks it's not going to happen to them until it does. So,
Yep. You're
um,
right.
so you never know. Miss Shelby, you have any last words?
I mean, the way everything's looking now, everybody needs to start, thinking about, what's going to happen tomorrow, because you never know. We could be left out in the cold, and what we call home might not be what you think is called home.
This
So
is true. And remember
you got
what
to think alternative routes of home.
absolutely. And y'all remember when Prepping Money was here, where he said that when he got caught up in Katrina, he saw what happened, and he had to change the way he looked at things, and like never think it's gonna happen to you until it does. So, with that, guys, that's it. I am done. I ain't got nothing else. So, thank you very much, Frankie, for the gift, and Brina, we gonna work on your modern, that modern stuff and that toilet flushing and and what have you.
Solid Blue, real quick, Solid Blue.
Yeah, yeah,
Can I
bro.
order? Can I order some muskrat and peanut butter and jelly and send you some just so you could sample it? I mean, you might need a little bit of that in your life.
Bro, I am good. Don't worry, I am good. I am covered. So you can send that muskrat to Shelby, or you can send it to Brina. Brina is actually the one who probably needs it more than anybody. So you can send it to Brina. And see, and Filthy Breakfast says, save me some. That's just gross. I'm sorry. I mean, when you said muskrat, I'm thinking of, and y'all, I'm about to gross y'all out. I'm thinking about roadkill. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. And Brenda goes, ew, ew. Oh, Brina, you just tickle me. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna leave y'all with I know y'all heard this before. Well, maybe you all haven't. Some baritone guitar blues, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. And that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you tomorrow. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye.